With head coach Doug Marrone, presented by Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Jeff Lageman.
Thank you, JP. Doug, you talked about it this week about start fast and finishing, and you guys weren't able to start fast. First 4 offensive possessions, you didn't get a first down. That's a tough way to start.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, I thought we had a couple of decent runs in there. James did a nice job. Really weren't able to convert on any of the throws, and it hurts. And then we get behind, and then we try to get ourselves back in the game, and then wind up getting a lead. Same thing defensively. They had a couple of penalties, obviously, and then they put together a couple of 3-and-outs, and then all of a sudden the momentum started to shift, and we just couldn't take advantage of it and finish the game.
Yeah, kind of part of that momentum shift. You guys were up in the second half, 21-16, and offensively you got a 4th and 2 at your own 46, and you go for it. Talk about the thinking there to go for it in that situation.
Sure. I was a little concerned, obviously, about the flow of the game, and I wanted to be aggressive, and that's what we've been talking to the players all week long about, just letting it hang out and go. And I thought it was an opportunity to get up by 2 scores, thinking that James was running well, and we had twice, we had 2 4th downs in a game, and twice we didn't execute, and that's really on all of us.
Yeah, and if you can steal a possession there, you can keep Justin Herbert off the field. Young quarterback, what a game that he had today, and we talked about it early in the week. He's a talented young player.
He really is. I mean, we said it, like you said, early in the week. I mean, he's a big guy. Normally you see big guys, they don't really run as well as he can run. And, you saw him today running well. And then, he was hooking up with Allen a couple of times, and man-to-man, making some plays. And then obviously off the play action. So, yeah, he's been playing well. I thought, we had an opportunity early on. He was a little bit off, and, we weren't able to keep that going. We were able to get some pressure at times. And then we had an all-out blitz, and he made a hell of a play.
The one bright spot, James Robinson, 22 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. And then he's got 4 catches for 18 yards and a touchdown. And clearly when he's on the field, Coach, you can see that he makes a difference.
He does make a difference, and that's what, we need to make sure that, we got to get other guys involved. I mean, I think we've seen they can take one phase of the game out of, for James, but, a lot of credit to him. I mean, how well he's playing, how smart he plays. I mean, that play down the sideline on the pass to, take that ball on the inside of that cone, and get that touchdown. I mean, that's, he doesn't play like a first-year player or a young rookie.
All right, Doug, appreciate it. Safe travels back.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
That's head coach Doug Marrone. The first word with the head coach, presented by Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Let's come back in a moment. Mike Dempsey will join us. Fred Taylor a little bit down the line as well. Jags fall today. Their 6th consecutive loss, 39-29 the final. And this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual.
Hey, Doug, could you just talk about your mindset when you went for it on 4th and 2? James Robinson couldn't make it on 3rd and 1. You're leading the game at that time. Your defense seemed to be playing a little bit better at that point. Why go for it on 4th and 2 on your side of the field with a lead?
Yeah, I just wanted to be aggressive. I wanted to, try to go up by 2 scores. I thought that was going to give us the best opportunity to win. I was going to give the ball to James, and we didn't execute well up front, and that's on all of us. On both plays.
A couple of weeks ago, you said you said something to the effect that we show flashes, but flashes don't win games in the NFL. Was this day sort of a reflection of that statement you made a couple weeks ago?
I don't. I mean, I would. There's times, like I said. I mean, we start the game. I think we have 4 3-and-outs. We get down. We come back. It's not my philosophy to go for 2 that early in the game, but I felt like the flow of the game, the way it was going. I wanted to make sure I did that. The same thing with those 3rd and 4th downs. It's not necessarily something that I've done in the past. I think you guys realize that, but I'm trying to give this team a spark. I'm trying to get them going when we have a little bit of momentum, and I think those are critical times that you have to be, right on it and focused, and you have to execute. And at the end of the day, 3 out of those 4 plays we didn't execute, and that's, you can go ahead and say, player, coach, that's on all of us, and it starts with me. So, that to me is what I'm disappointed in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gene. Let's go to Mark and then D-Rock.
Yeah, Doug, first off, the significance of how significant is D.D. Westbrook's injury? And then at any point, did you consider benching Gardner Minshew?
The first one was it seems to be pretty significant. I don't know. We don't have the rest of it, the final stuff. So I'm sure I'll have that, for you guys on Tuesday. And then, no, I wasn't thinking about that.
And then lastly, how confident are you that you'll be the coach of this team into the bye week and for the next home game?
No, I think any time that you're losing like this and you're not performing well on Sundays, I think it's naive. It can happen. It's something that I just come to work and do the best job I can for the coaches and players. So, I know those questions come, and you guys know me. I understand that, and it's just what this game is. Just work as hard as you possibly can, and at the end of the day, you got to hold your head up high, knowing that you did everything you possibly could, to try to win games, and at the same time, you did the best for the coaches and the players.
All right, let's go to D-Rock and then John Shipley.
Hey, Doug, was the game plan today, or your approach today, to be even more aggressive than you normally are, with 4th downs and the 2-point conversions, or was that more because you needed to give this team a spark after the rough start?
No, I was thinking about it, saying coming in, about being more aggressive. I think, like I said before, I've got a pretty decent track record. I've kind of switched up, and I wanted to try to do something to get this team a spark and get them going and try to get up by, 2 scores, and we weren't able to execute. I felt good about the play. I felt good about, who was handling the play, and, and when it doesn't get run well, it's easy to point to one person. But like I told everyone in that locker room, that's on all of us. I mean, you've got to take advantage of those situations, the game-changing situations. And, when you're not able to do that, it's going to be tough.
Where's the frustration level for these guys, especially when you see a game like today where they probably know that if we had been able to even do anything early, we would be competing with these guys at the end of the game to win that game or maybe even be ahead?
Yeah, it's always hard for me to tell right now, saying, Mike, about, when you're talking about how someone else feels, I think I can tell you this, that we all feel shitty, and the one thing that that's out there on the field is, they're playing as hard as they can. We're just not making the plays we need to make. And, that's on all of us, starts with me.
Thanks, Doug.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, let's go to John Shipley and then Jamal.
Hey, Coach, can you point to really the root cause of the defense's issues stopping Herbert from running? It was both, whether it was on scrambles or design runs.
I think, missed tackles are the first thing that you look at, John. I think we missed some tackles today, obviously. That was out there on the field. We had a stunt call, all of a sudden we can't get there, and he runs up and runs out of the pocket. But I give him a lot of credit. We knew going in that, for a big guy, he's really fast, and he did a good job of, keeping plays going. He did a good job of running, at critical times, and really making some big plays. So, he's got some good people. I think, man coverage, they went to Allen. We saw that during the game. I thought we did a good job when we had those couple of 3 and outs. We were switching up the coverages on him, switching that up with the pressure. We came out with an all-out pressure. He backpedaled, made a great throw. So he's proven that he belongs, and I have a lot of respect for the kid.
Yeah. And then, Coach, real quick, what can you say about the performance of Quincy Williams? It seemed like after missing that time he did earlier this year, he made some plays today.
Yeah, I saw a couple. I think, it's hard after a game, when you get the individual things, unless they're, something in a stat category, that you can point to. But, he got out there, and that type of experience will help him.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, John. Let's go to Jamal, and then we're going to finish with Gary Smits.
Hey, Coach, has James Robinson earned the right to be really featured on this offense coming up after the bye week?
Yeah, I mean, featured. I mean, I don't want anyone to go take anything away from him. You know what I'm saying? Like, take one of the aspects away from him. I think that, he's really done a great job. I mean, you talk about a guy that's young. The plays he makes and the things he does are, it's not like a rookie. The effort that he plays with is really, you probably don't get as good of a feel for it, watching a game on TV than when you're on the sideline of how hard he plays. And I thought that play where he scored on the pass, was able to take that ball and get it on that pylon. I mean, for a young running back, I mean, he's a guy that plays like a veteran. He really does. And, I think, when the opportunity presents itself, you like to be balanced. I think that helps everyone. I think it helps everyone with their, with our team with moving the football. I think that, if you just go, in one direction, but, if you look at how many touches he has, and I know that sometimes we haven't given him the ball enough, I mean, he is getting enough touches, and I really think that, could he get more? Yeah. Whether you want to call it featured or something like that, I don't really like, labeling, players like that.
And toward the end of the game, you could really see some of the guys' frustration just through their body language. Do you feel like you're starting to lose some of the guys on the team?
Well, I mean, that's a question for them. I think that I think if you looked at all of us, I think there's a level of disappointment, when you're not being able to make plays and do all that. So, don't mistake the effort on the field for the body language on the sideline. I think that, it's always tough. You get those questions when you're playing, like the way we're playing or the situation that we're in, because, if you're laughing and joking on the sideline, you get ripped the other way. If you don't show that you're disappointed, then you really don't care. So I think it's really tough when you start talking about, the human emotion of what's going on. I think it's good to just, watch how they play on the field. So I just spoke to them. Obviously, I felt like I had a good talk with them. So, I think it's hard after a game, to not feel upset when you've worked so hard and you put everything into it.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Thanks, Jamal. All right, let's do Gary with the last question.
Yeah, Doug, with the guys you did not have on defense to start the game, Miles and Jared, and the injuries you had in game, at 29-22, was the defense giving you all they could? I mean, were they making enough plays? Did you feel really good about those guys at that point?
I'm sorry. What players are you talking about? Specific players? Do I feel
well
good?
in defense? I mean, Brandon Watson, Smoot, Quincy. I mean, it was a defense when it was 29-22. Were they really giving you a pretty strong effort?
Gary, those guys give a strong effort. I'm not going to sit here, and say. I mean, you guys know. I mean, you guys are watching the same thing that we're watching on the sideline. I mean, those guys are playing with everything they have. At times, we might not be in the right position, or we're going to get beat by an opposing player that's has better leverage on us or whatever it may be. But make no mistake about it. I think some of those penalties, that you see, in the back end, it's just that we're trying to run with those guys, and at times we don't have the favorable matchups that we need. So I think it's just, it's not I don't have any issue. Well, I want to make sure I'm clear. I have zero issue with anyone that goes on that field, because of the way they play and the way they try. And, like I said before, I mean, if you talk about frustration or disappointment, I look to myself. I've got to find a way, to try to get this team, coaches, everybody over the top and keep plugging away. And, we're going to try to put up a fence or a wall. We're going to look at this stuff and take a good look at things. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of questions that I'll be able to answer on Wednesday because we got the whole week. But, like I told him, I said, look, we got to put this behind us. We've got to learn from it, and we've got to take a different mentality and a different step going into this next phase, you know what I'm saying, after the bye week. So that's what I told the players after the game.
Okay, thanks, Doug.
Sure.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
You decide how much of your buying experience you do online. Browsing, value your trade, picking your payments, financing. Just go to SubaruofOrangePark.com, pick out your vehicle, and click iBuy to begin. Become an iBuy preferred customer at Hanania Subaru of Orange Park, your local Subaru superstore.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm tree swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now. You're on Tropic time now. And right now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, try our watermelon mojito and guava margarita smoothies. And you're tasting fruity now, sipping sunshine now, toasting summer now. You're on Tropic time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Bold statement. Saving money with Geico is almost better than watching football. Think about it. When you're watching the game, yelling at the quarterback to throw the ball, throw it, Williams is wide open, why are you doing this to me? Use that rocket arm, come on! They don't listen to you. But if you went into a Geico office and yelled, someone please help me save some money on car insurance, everyone would hop to it. Except the intern because it's his first day and he doesn't even have a computer yet. See? Better. Switch and save with Geico. It's almost better than sports.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
Welcome back, Jaguars postgame 39-29, Chargers over the Jags. Crystal Restaurants remains committed to the health and safety of guests and team members. Drive-thrus open 6 a.m. to midnight, and restaurants are offering delivery through Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Let's get to the highlights from this one, and boy, were there some today. The Chargers had a lot of them early in the first quarter, though. They had a field goal, open 3-0. The Jaguars had a couple of 3-and-outs, a third 3-and-out, and then Joe Reed had a 7-yard touchdown run to get the Chargers into the end zone.
They run a jet sweep again to the right side, this time breaking a tackle, and into the end zone is Joe Reed. A jet sweep, he broke one tackle, he got it into the end zone. It's a 7-yard touchdown run for Joe Reed, extending the lead for the LA Chargers.
Extra point no good, 9-0. Jaguars had a fourth consecutive 3-and-out to start the game and could do nothing offensively. And the ensuing drive for the Chargers, Herbert to Parham for 22 yards and a score.
Herbert under center. Receivers to either side, he drops the throw. Fires toward the end zone. That ball is caught for the touchdown. A terrific throw. Donald Parham, one of his tight ends, makes the touchdown catch and the Chargers have extended the lead at SoFi Stadium.
Extra point good, 16-0 Chargers at that point. Jags needed something, anything to get going. They hit DJ Chark on a 26-yard pass for the first down of the game. Chenault had a 36-yard catch and run on the drive, and then James Robinson from 4 yards.
To give to Robinson again, picks his way, lowers his shoulder, got it near the goal line. They're going to mark him down inside the 1-yard line. 1st and goal for Jacksonville.
Did you get the first down, and now you
that's
got
a touchdown, guys.
Yeah, they reviewed it, gave him a score, Fred, and that was a great play to keep his body off the ground and get in the end zone.
Amazing play. He used his arm to extend himself, used leverage. Just ran hard and tough all day, man. I loved every run he ran. Every ball that he touched, I loved the way he finished.
That cut the lead. They got the 2-point conversion as well, and it was 16-8 Chargers lead, a 1-score game, and the Jags defense stood up. A couple of 3-and-outs at that point, and the Jaguars get in the end zone right before halftime. 11 plays, 67-yard drive. Minshew finds his running back, this time through the air.
Minshew drops the throw. Throws it out of the backfield. That is James Robinson. James to the 5-yard line, angling for the pylon. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown. Second touchdown of the game from James Robinson on the pass from Gardner Minshew.
9-yard score. The 2-point try, no good. So the halftime score was 16-14. Chargers led the way. Jags defense got a 3-and-out to open the second half. So the punt team's out for the Chargers. The Jaguars special teams gets in on the scoring.
Ty Long on the punt away is blocked. The Jags block it. They pick it up. This is Daniel Thomas running it back. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. He blocked the punt. He picked it up. Thomas, the rookie, has scored, and Jacksonville has taken the lead.
Yeah, they took the lead 21-16 at that point. Great play by Daniel Thomas, the block and the scoop and the score. And that was a huge change of momentum, Fred.
Them change, AP, as you said, man, just to be able to get in there. Just an all-out hustle play. He was able to maneuver through the small crease, blocked it, scoop, scored, celebrated with the guys at that particular point in time, the sidelines. You could see the guys excited, and that's what they need to be all the time.
Badgley missed a field goal, no good from 48 yards. The Jaguars turned it over on downs a little bit later. And here come the Chargers again to regain the lead. Herbert to Virgil Green, a 26-yard score.
Herbert under center, play fake, dropping to throw. Lots of time this time, looking. Fires deep downfield. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown. Virgil Green went up and got it. Joe Schobert had good coverage, but it's a 26-yard touchdown for the Chargers, and they have retaken the lead at SoFi Stadium.
2-point try, no good, 22-21. The Jaguars go back down the field, and they regain the lead. Minshew to Conley.
Minshew fires along the left sideline. That ball is caught for the touchdown by Chris Conley. Minshew to Conley for the score, and Jacksonville has retaken the lead.
Jaguars led at that point 29-22. Ellison got the 2-point conversion, in fact, so 29-22, a 7-point lead. Well, here come the Chargers again. Herbert to Guyton this time, a 70-yarder.
He drops the throw. Jags blitz. Fires along the right sideline. That ball is caught inside the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown. A long bomb to Jalen Guyton, a 70-yard touchdown pass, and the Chargers strike back quickly.
Extra point ties it, 29-21 and 29-29 rather. This is where the game turned, though. The ensuing kickoff returned by D.D. Westbrook, but not far.
D.D. Westbrook from the 1-yard line. Got it on the run to the 15, to the 20-yard line. D.D. is hit. The ball comes out. The ball comes out, and the Chargers have...
Gardner, you got me all right?
Yep, gotcha.
Sounds good. Let's start with John Reed, and then we'll go to Mark Long.
How you doing, Gardner? Can you just talk about your start and how did you manage to shake that off? They showed a couple of clips on the sideline, and you just looked a little frustrated there with Coach Jay. But can you just talk about what was difficult and how did you shake that start off?
I mean, yeah, we were frustrated. We had like 4 3-and-outs. I mean, that was, about as bad as you can start. But one thing I was proud of is how, we didn't, fold or send it in right there. Kept fighting, kept working. Defense kept battling their tail off to keep us in it, and managed to find somewhat of a groove. And then, obviously couldn't find it late.
Thank you, John. We'll go to Mark Long, and then we'll go to Mike Duraco.
Yeah, hey, Gardner, coming into a bye week, is that a game you feel like you guys can build on all that resiliency?
I think so. I think every week there's good and bad. I think that's one thing I am proud of. We just gotta keep working to put a complete game together, But I think, it hurts, but I wouldn't say we're discouraged. I think everybody's looking for a solution still, and it's a fight. It's tough right now, and we know that. But as long as these guys keep fighting, we're gonna figure it out.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go to D-Rock, and then we'll go over to Jamal.
Hey, Gardner, you were kind of cranking your arm, I guess, or the shoulder there later on in that game. Were you banged up a little bit at any point there?
A little bit, but just normal stuff.
Did you like Doug's aggressive approach today? He said he was going to come in today and be aggressive, obviously with the 4 fourth downs and the 2 2-point conversions or 3 2-point conversion attempts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime a coach puts faith in you like that, you want to reward him. And we did at times today, didn't at times. But anytime, coach puts off that kind of confidence, I think it kind of resonates to the team.
Thanks, Bo.
Thanks, D-Rock. Let's go over to Jamal and then to John Shipley.
Hey, Gardner, what'd you think about James Robinson's performance today?
He battled his tail off, man. With Chris out, he's really the only guy in there. I know Dio played some snaps, but man, he really carried a load today. Caught the ball, ran the ball. Couldn't be more proud of how hard he's playing and working. And I expect him to continue to do that and get better and better.
And there were some reports that you could get benched if you played poorly today. Had the coaches talked to you about the possibility of getting pulled before today's game?
No, that was never mentioned.
All right, appreciate it, Gardner.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamal. We'll go to John Shipley and then to Gary Smits.
Hey, Gardner. Obviously, last season, even times this year, you and DJ have had a great connection. Can you just kind of point to what kind of went wrong today with that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's we need to make a effort to get him the ball because we know how dynamic he can be. It's frustrating. I know he's frustrated. He just wants to help the team win. And we got to give him the opportunity to do that. So whatever we got to do, the bye week could be a good opportunity to kind of take a look at it and, get him back to the Pro Bowl level that, he really is.
Thanks, Gardner.
Thanks, John. We'll go over to Gary Smits, and then we'll wrap with Cassidy.
Yeah, Gardner, the 2 touchdowns that James scored where he stretched out and got the ball down and then he hit the pylon. In the heat of the battle, a lot of rookies don't think or have that kind of awareness of where the end zone is or where the pylon is. And is James just as smart as he is a good physical player?
Yeah, James, he's a football player. He's the type of guy that's, probably done that a million times growing up, just playing on the playground on the, recess. High school, he's a great player. College, he's a great player. He's a great player for us right now. So him being a rookie doesn't mean he hadn't played a ton of football.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Gary. We'll finish with Cassidy Hill.
Hey, Gardner. How much was their pass rush just really affecting you today, especially in the first quarter? And did anything change, or did you shift any of the game plan in the second quarter just to get the ball out of your hand quicker?
Yeah, they did a good job. I know several of those sacks were probably more on me than anything. But, I think we did a good job bouncing back from that. It's kind of one of those deals you just find yourself in a funk, and we just needed, just got to get a first down to get out of it. And I think once we finally did, we got rolling a little bit. But yeah, we got to be able to get ourselves out of those before, they really get going.
Thank you, Gardner.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Break a little bit early defensively, but you give the Chargers that many opportunities. They started putting the ball in the end zone, and the Jags, albeit taking the lead, weren't able to hold them off in the second half. Here's some of the numbers individually. Gardner Minshew, 14-27 for 173, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times today, quarterback rating of 96.7. On the ground, it was James Robinson, of course, with 22 for 119 and a touch. Minshew ran it 4 times for 21. Laviska Shenault caught 3 for 44. Chris Conley caught his 1 out of 2 targets for a 28-yard touchdown, and James Robinson had the other aerial touchdown as well, 4 for 18 for him. On the other side of the field, Justin Herbert, 347, 3 touchdowns through the air, a 111 quarterback rating. He was only sacked the one time. Taven Bryan and Dewan Smoot combining for that. Herbert led the way on the ground for the Chargers as well, 66 yards rushing with a score there. Joshua Kelly, 12 for 29, so not really much out of the running backs. Joe Reed scored on a jet sweep for the Chargers. And Keenan Allen, 10 grabs for 125 yards. And you had Jalen Guyton catching the long 70-yard touchdown as well. Justin Jackson, 5 grabs out of the backfield for 43. Defensively, Joe Schobert led the way with 9 total tackles, although only 3 of those were solo. Josh Jones with 6 solos and 2 assists for 8 combined in the game. Those guys led the way in terms of getting their hands on ball carriers. Rashawn Jenkins with 8 total, including 7 solo for the Chargers today.
Fred Taylor with us. Hey, Fred, we heard about Justin Herbert coming in and the excitement around him in Los Angeles. We saw a lot of the reason why today with his big statistical day, 6'6", nearly 240-pound frame. He can run with all that, too.
Oh,
I mean, he's got it all, Fred.
Tell me about it. I'm sitting here trying my best to focus on doing this show with you guys, and I got a full onslaught of text messages coming in on a group chat from my buddies talking about this guy. Who's the best quarterback in this draft class? And right now the conversation as I look down is Burrow and Herbert. Who's the best? Who has the most upside? They're talking about organizations. They're talking about systems, coaches, play calling. They throwing in Mahomes in there saying, will he be the same guy if he was in Jacksonville? These are the things I'm peeking down at my phone looking at. But I just want to say this guy's the real deal. He's the prototypical. This is what you build on, NFL Madden. You build a guy like this. And I don't want to go too far, ahead of myself, but just right now, he looked like he has all of the tools. He can run the ball. He can move in the pocket. His awareness, his IQ seems to be high. The velocity, he seems like the guy.
Yeah, Fred, I mean, so many questions about him, Fred, all seem to be about his football makeup, not his physical talents, right? That we're all, was he an alpha male? Was he a leader? Was he too much of a shy personality? I mean, these were the questions around the draft. Oh, by the way, Joe Burrow, he did just fine today, albeit in defeat. 406 yards. He also threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for 34 and a score as well. So these two guys have been putting on a show right now.
Who came up with those questions? The same people came up with the questions for those debates we've been watching?
I don't know. I do not know.
That's just nonsense. Let him get on the field and let him play. The rest is going to come into place. But I get it. You're investing. Eventually you're going to invest $100+ million, or in the case of Mahomes, $400 million into a guy. You want him to have all the essentials, just from on the field, off the field. You want him to be able to pull up to your house and, take your daughter out and have her back home by 10, right? So those things, you question those, but let that pan out. He's a young guy. I think he's going to get a lot more mature. He's going to do all the right things. I just love what I saw today. Unfortunately, I wish we had one while I was watching it, but he's a guy you want to see change the face of the game. It seems like he could do it.
And another guy in the same draft class starting next week for the Dolphins.
He's got some work to do.
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa is a little bit behind these guys, but he's a type that can catch up in a hurry as well. There you have it, our TIAA Bank stats check. Let's come back. The player of the game voting after this 39-29 loss to the Chargers. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Ugh, I have to do laundry when I get home. I have to lug all my clothes over to the washing machine. Then I get to put them in the dryer and accidentally shrink my cashmere sweater again.
Motorcycles make everything exciting. And when Geico makes it easy to switch and save on motorcycle insurance, it's even more exciting.
I'm gonna fold all my socks into...
crap. Josh, you got me all right?
Y'all didn't get that, did y'all?
No, we're all good. Let's start with Demetrius, and then we'll go over to Gary Smits.
Hey, Josh, I mean, obviously not the results you guys wanted, but how did it feel just for you to get out there after not being on the field for a couple weeks?
Personally, man, I feel like, I did everything I could for this team to put us in the best position to win. And that's all I can ask for. And that's all I can do for my teammates. So I feel real comfortable just being back. I had a lot of energy. And, it was good to be back out there with them boys.
How difficult was it sort of to go up against a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who obviously he can pass well, but he can also run?
I mean, it's always it's always going to be a challenge, when you have to rush against a guy that can run out the pocket and get those extra yards. He had a good game. He got the ball off pretty quick. I feel like up front we got to him pretty fast and a lot. So he got the ball out when he needed to, and he scrambled when he needed to. You can't ask for nothing more right there.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Demetrius. We'll go over to Gary Smits and then over to Jamal.
Josh, the guys you had out before the game, Miles and Gerard, and then the guys you lost in game, Sydney and Dakota. Can you talk about the effort you guys had for most of the game with really kind of a patchwork defense out there? Devon Hamilton played hard, obviously. Quincy played hard.
Mm-hmm.
So just talk about the adversity the defense faced and how they played for most of the game.
I mean, it's always going to be next man up, and that's here, that's anywhere in the NFL or it's any sport. So you don't never prepare for somebody to get injured, but if something happens like that, it's the next man up. And those guys had experience this year. D-Ham had experience this year. Quincy had experience last year. So it was just good to see them out there flying around, making a lot of big plays for us. And, like you said, man, with those guys being out, like I said, somebody has to step up, and I feel like they did a really good job today.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Gary. We'll go to Jamal and then Mike Duraco.
Hey, Josh, you've reached the halfway point of the season and going into the bye week. Do you feel like the defense can build off of the strong points from today and maybe have a stronger second half of the season?
I mean, we don't have a choice for real. I just, right now I'm going to focus on this bye week and just getting back healthy. My body's a little sore, which is everybody's. We had a long, 7 games, and we finally get this bye week. I talked to a couple of guys after the game, and they told me how important the bye week was for them and how they got to get their body back right. So definitely excited, looking forward to this. But once we come back, we get to play against Houston, division rival, and it's a game that we must have. And they got the same record as us, and we're looking to really get after them.
And after the game, there was some video of Joey Bosa working with Chase on down on the field. Can you talk about just how close-knit pass rushers around the NFL are?
I mean, yeah, man. It's a society, man. If you're an edge rusher, you know how to rush the passer, man. We try to help each other out, and I learned that firsthand. And being at the Pro Bowl, I felt like when I was there, a lot of the guys really got to me. Vaughn was showing me a lot of things. Melvin was showing me a lot of things, and so just being around that culture and being around us, in that group, it's a tight knit, and we just all want to see each other succeed. And I was glad I didn't see that, but that was cool that he was, showing him a couple of things, because Joey's a good pass rusher, a great pass rusher, and he's going to be years to come. And KC's an up-and-coming one, and he saw the potential that he can have. And he's just putting a bug in his ear. So I respect him for that. And, just continue for everybody to stay healthy.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jamal. Over Mike Duraco and then to Cassidy Hill.
Hey, Josh, how disheartening is it that at the end of every game you look up on the scoreboard and the opponent's got 30, and it's 6 weeks in a row that they've been able to put up 30?
I mean, the same way you feel about it, I guess. It's definitely not nothing that we want to do. But I didn't even know, man. It was a shock to me. I looked up and said, damn, they got, that many points. So, I mean, we just got to continue to keep playing defense and continue to get 3 and outs. And, the results is the results. Did we put up 30? 29? Well, that was damn close. So they looking back the same thing. So, but we definitely got to keep that number to a low and just make more opportunities when we can.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. We'll go to Cassidy Hill, and then we'll finish up with John Chipley.
Hey, Josh, you mentioned Devon a couple of times. I mean, he's second start in a row, but he's stepping in for an 8-year vet. What have you seen from him the past couple of weeks, and how quickly has he come along?
Who you said, KC?
Oh, no, Devon Hamilton. Sorry.
Devon Hamilton? Oh, I mean, man, I knew when he was coming in that he was going to have a big role in this team, and he's doing exactly what we brought him here to do. And plus more, I feel like he's definitely been able to get after the passer. He has a lot. He has a couple quarterback pressures and hits, which is something that from a nose is is not really common. So it's definitely fun to see him play. And I know when I know when he's out there with me and I get the pass rush, I know he's gonna cover me. So I trust him out there, and he's definitely been playing a lot better throughout this time, and hopefully he continues to stay high.
Yeah, I think he had 2 quarterback carries today. So just how much does that help you out there, especially coming off the edge, that you can essentially get 3 into the backfield?
I mean, it's definitely big, man. The more people we can get back there to affect the quarterback is going to benefit all of us. And for him to be one of those guys is definitely huge for not only for us, but for him and for this team. Puts in a better situation just to condense the pocket. And we need guys in the middle to condense the pocket. And he does a real good job at that. So, we're going to continue to work on that, continue to get better, and make those pressures become sacks.
Thank you, Cassidy. We'll go to John Shipley, and then we'll finish with Mark Long.
Hey, Josh. You guys didn't get the results you wanted, but what can you say about the defense's play against the run? I mean, because when you look at it outside of Herbert's scrambles, the Chargers running backs didn't get much going.
I mean, man, yeah, we pride ourselves on stopping the run first and foremost. The easiest thing they teach us, the easiest thing to do in the league is to hand it off. So for us to be able to stop the run early and all game is definitely crucial for us, so we can be able to rush the passer and pressure the quarterback more. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to stop the run and just play good football, and that's what we all can do.
Thanks, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, John. We'll wrap with Mark Long.
Hey, Josh. I know you'd be the first to say it hasn't been good enough on defense. What are some of the things that you see? A couple of things you see going into the bye week that you can build on for this defense to be better in the second half?
I mean, if you really look at the film, if you look at the matchups, then a lot of teams aren't really doing nothing to us. If you look at the drives, penalties, us defeating ourselves, not communicating back in, we had multiple times where guys just didn't line up right and something big happened for them. Or we had, we were smashing them all game, all the time, the whole drive, and then we get a penalty. So, if you really look at it and really look at the matchups and really look at how we were pressuring them and how we were stopping the run, defense, we had a good game. The numbers can say whatever they want, but if you take back those penalties and take back, those blown assignments, we're in the game. You know what I mean? So, if people can just look at everything besides numbers, and see what really goes on, then, we play really good defense. We pressured the quarterback a lot today. We stopped the run early and throughout the game, and there's nothing more we can do. We just have to win our one-on-ones in the back end and up front, and we'll be successful. So that's something that we have to emphasize this week.
Thank you, Josh.
Yep. Thank y'all, everybody.
Thanks, Josh.
Bully and COVID, you never know what that's going to do. And, on top of the injury. So, but the coaches, the players, the medical staff, they just got to do their best, man, to get the guys prepped and ready, back as fast as they can, to get them out there to have enough guys to be able to play. I can tell you this, JP and Mike, somebody's gonna play.
That's right.
No matter, somebody's going to play.
Yep.
It might not be what all the fans want or what we naturally want to see or who we naturally want to see, but somebody is definitely going to be out there and play. And hopefully the result isn't as bad as it has been.
Yeah, look, that's all you can do, Fred. They're not going to cancel the rest of these games. They got 9 more to go, and Their depth is already being tested, and it's going to continue to get tested here. I mean, Miles Jack, probably the MVP of this team in the early part of the season, not going again is a big blow, but you can't feel sorry for yourself. You just got to, even if you're not as talented, the next man up's got to find a way to make some plays.
Next man up, baby. That's what they call it.
That's what it is in the NFL. It's what the Jaguars are working with now as we head into the bye week in week number 8. Let's come back in a moment. Our final thoughts. The Jags are off this coming week. We'll get our final thoughts from Fred Taylor and Mike Dempsey. I'm JP Shadrick, and this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Oi, bonjour.
Xin chào.
Добрый день. كيف فينا نساعدكم?
¿Cómo te podemos ayudar?
If you have an accident, the last thing you should have to worry about is a language barrier. That's why at Farah & Farah, we have a team as diverse as our clients. So no matter what language you speak, we'll fight for your voice. Farah & Farah, here for you.
نحن هون للكل.
Ici pour vous. Aquí para todos.
Here for all. Jacksonville.
Proven IT implements a strategic game plan designed to streamline your business for maximum results. Make the winning choice with the official business systems partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Proven IT. Proven IT's technology experts use a customized approach to understand how to design, implement, and monitor solutions that optimize your business. Proven IT provides managed network services, document management solutions, office technology, voice and data solutions, and more. Visit ProvenIT.com to see how they can streamline your business. Proven IT, transforming workplace productivity.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral, the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy. And it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Welcome back, Jaguars Postgame. PRI Productions, the Southeast Full Service Event Company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Yes, they do. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and for Ed Taylor, the Jags are off this week, of course, coming up. This week's game, the Chargers, and next week's bye were flip-flopped. It should have been the bye this week and then the Chargers next week, but because of the New England Patriots COVID situation a few weeks ago, this was one of 8 games impacted and moved around the league. So the bye week coming up this week, and then, gentlemen, the stretch run, or not the stretch run, but a very important stretch in November begins. Home against the Texans, at the Packers, home against the Steelers, home against the Browns, and then at Minnesota. That is quite a stretch there, Fred.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of tough football coming up, man. And, I hope that these guys, with the coaches, because that's where it starts. It's going to start with the coaches. I hope they're able to look at this film, assess the entire film, look at where they didn't make the best decisions. In football, the margin is so thin, then you have to deal with turnovers, the unforeseen things such as turnovers, to go along with everything else. We've always talked about situational football. Today, they weren't very good on fourth down, and I know a few decisions were affected by the injuries or, what we've dealt with the past couple of weeks with the place kicker. And I think on that first 4th and 1, you go for 29-yard line. You attempt that field goal if Lambeau's healthy. So scratch that, throw that one out. But it's the second, fourth down. On 3rd and 1, if you're even considering going for it, if you think you got the momentum, 3 plays after the block punt, If you think you got the momentum, it should be a situational call in there that says, if we don't get it on 3rd and 1, we're going to hustle back to the line of scrimmage and maybe even do a dummy cadence to try to draw them off. Now it's 4th and 2 or something. At worst, you call a timeout, you put it on the foot of the punter, you get it 50 yards down, and you go and play defense again, because leading up to that, you had three consecutive 3-and-outs. And this is the thing that's mind-boggling. So everyone has to use this bye week to their advantage. Look at the film. How can we all get better as a group? You know, no one should place blame. But look at the film and say, I was bad here as a coach, or I was bad here as a player. This is what builds character and builds those relationships and that trust, and eventually will build a better team. But it starts there, and it's going to start this week because the schedule ain't going to lighten up. But you can get better in the room. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, JP, reading through that November schedule, I mean, the Texans and Vikings are vastly underperforming expectations this year, but the Packers and Pittsburgh are 2 of the best teams in the league. Right now in Cleveland is Jekyll and Hyde, but they're playing better football more often than not. The Jags, it doesn't matter, though, what the level of the opponent is. I mean, the Chargers were a team on a 4-game losing streak. The Jags are not the kind of team at this point in time that can take anything for granted, can just show up and beat anybody on talent alone. They've got to show up, have the talent play to their optimal level, and then make some big plays like they got today.
Got to protect that ball.
Got to do it, Fred.
Protect it. Situationally, you got to be better, and that's part of it, Mike. Right.
And you come up with a block punt for the touchdown today.
Huge.
That is huge, but then you give it back basically with the D.D. Westbrook fumble. So that, even though that's not a turnover, it's like you got a turnover. You got a free 7 points out of that. So we'll find out, man, if a week off Fred can right the ship for these guys, at least against Houston.
You gave it back with the non-execution of the 4th and 1.
That too.
In my opinion. But that's another thing. We'll see how that all pans out. Got a lot more football left.
All right, Fred, rest up, ice up. It's the bye week. Get healthy. We'll see you.
Remember those days, man. Those good days. I loved them.
Love it. Fred, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
All right, guys, be good.
Fred Taylor, pride of the Jaguars running back, joining us. We'll come back in a moment. For those on our flagship station in Jacksonville, the Scoreboard Show is coming up next. NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks joins us from Los Angeles. The Senior VP of Communications is Dan Edwards. VP of Production, Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer, Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio, Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Brent Reber, Trent Padilla, and Max Hockman produce the shows for Jaguars.com. For Jeff Lageman, Fred Taylor, and Mike Dempsey, this is JP Shadrick saying good night. Final score for the final time, Chargers 39, Jaguars 29 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
This is the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, Geico, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome in, Scoreboard Show, 39-29, Chargers over the Jags. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks coming up. Your calls, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. Wow, this was one, I think I said it in the previous show. I can't believe the first quarter was in the same game as the final 3 quarters of this game. This was a little different today.
You're right about that, JP. I mean, this looked like, the pregame rumors of Gardner Minshew being possibly benched at some point for Mike Glennon might be coming in the third quarter today. Sure. I mean, the way that game started out, but they settled down and got 14 on the board with a couple of touchdowns. They had the 2-point conversion in the second quarter, but you're right. I mean, it was – and the Chargers started a little bit slow themselves, so give some credit to the Jaguar defense early on in this football game, but once they found their footing, I mean, they scored in every quarter, 9, 7, 20 big third-quarter points. When the game was still in the balance, it was back and forth, and the defense didn't have any answers for Justin Herbert after halftime, really. or really once they got into the second quarter of this contest. But, yeah, you're right. The first quarter, completely different. But despite the fact that Minshew and the offense, let's say the offense picked it up, James Robinson being the main driving force behind that, really didn't do much with his wide receivers in this football game. Laviska Shenault had the big 36-yard reception. That's 36 of his 44 yards, and most of that was run after the catch, right? Breaking tackles. You had DJ Chark catching the 26-yarder. That was a diving effort, and that kind of sparked the offense to get going. Hey, finally, we got a first down. They got the ball moving. Visca's catch came on that drive as well, and they ultimately stuck it in the end zone with James Robinson. But you had Conley. He had a 28-yard touchdown. It was his only catch of the day.
That's right.
So, I mean, really, James Robinson with the 4 catches was the leading receiver from that department. Shenault had 3. O'Shaughnessy had 3. Nobody else had more than a single catch on the day. So, despite the fact that the Jags ended up putting up 29 points, James Robinson, a lot of kudos. Block punt return for a touchdown. Big play there. But really, the final score, I think, hides the passing game woes today.
Bucky Brooks joins us from Los Angeles, California now. And, well, good evening. Well, good afternoon to you, I guess, out in L.A. But this was a different one today. The first quarter issues, the halftime score was 16-14, and then all hell broke loose in the third quarter. A crazy football game, and the Jags fall by 10. Bucky, what was your view?
Game under control. They started out slow, but we saw them climb back into the game. I think the thing that was very, very telling, when the Jaguars play what I say the right way, where James Robinson is kind of the driving force of the offense, we saw them have success. The running game was successful. Gardner Minshew was on a pitch count. He had fewer than 30 throws. The offense looked much better as a result. I think defensively, we continue to be victimized by our inability to kind of make some plays in key situations. It's the little things that show up. And I'll say this, listening to the previous show, Fred T was talking about like the turnovers, and he talked about the fourth down. And even though we only had 1 turnover on the books, those failed fourth down conversions are like turnovers. And so when you think about going 1 for 4 on fourth down and then having another turnover, that's 4 turnovers. And so you can't lose the turnover battle and win most games. And so I think what happened is you give the ball to the opponent without being able to put points on the board. More times than not, you can fall up on the short end of the stick.
Bucky, I think today showed you that, and something we've been talking about, even when this team falls behind, they need to keep James Robinson as the focal point of the offense. They didn't abandon the run today. Now, granted, they were having some success with it, unlike last week, so it was easier to do. But by sticking with it, they were able to put themselves back in the game.
Yeah, and I think it's important that they take the bye week to really understand that and understand what the recipe is. Because we have seen when we abandon the run game and we put too much on the quarterback, the game slips away from us. Even though the game, you have a deficit and you're behind, by sticking with the running game and continuing to play the game as if it's within 1 score, the Jaguars were able to get themselves back into the mix. And so I think the lesson to be learned is this needs to be an offense that runs through the running game. You keep those playmakers in mind on the outside, but it has to be run through James Robinson. And then you still have to find a way to get DJ Chark more than 1 reception. But I think you have to examine who you have, what you have, and how you want to play. But I think the running game certainly needs to be the focal point of the offense.
All right, fellas, we have plenty to discuss on this program coming up. The phone lines are open, 355-NFL1, 355-6351. Chargers 39, Jaguars 29. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company. And our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help. And this is important. We never forget. It's not about us. It's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral, the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy. And it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
Hey, it's the Good Greek Spiro, and I am proud to announce that Good Greek Moving and Storage is now the official mover of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are making all of the right moves, and you should too. So when it's time for you to move, do it like the Jags and call the Good Greek. Simply dial ** Greek from your cell or go to goodgreek.com. That's goodgreek.com. Good Greek Moving and Storage, official movers of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
Floridians know what it means to stand together. That's why Florida Blue is committed to the people of Florida by providing health care with lower costs and higher quality. Enroll within 60 days of life-changing events, such as losing your job, to get benefits like plans as low as $0 a month and up to $500 per year towards your premiums in wellness rewards. Call 1-800-750-0164 or visit floridablue.com/care today. Florida Blue is a trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Incorporated. These health benefit plans have limitations and exclusions.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back, JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks after a Jaguars loss to the Chargers, 6th in a row, 39-29 the final. Bucky, I'm going to put you on the spot before we get to the phone calls.
All right.
Did you have no idea what I'm going to ask you? I like this. So did Gardner Minshew do enough for you to kind of stick with him a bit longer? There was that report before the game from Ian Rappaport that if he didn't play well, he could be benched at some point, if not today. Did he do enough for you to stick with him for a little longer?
Yeah, I think you stick with Gardner Minshew for the duration because I don't think there's any upside to playing Mike Glennon. We know what Mike Glennon is. Like, there's a limited ceiling that Mike Glennon can provide. I think the main thing you want to do is really determine what you have in Gardner Minshew. Look, he is what he is as a player, and I think the more that we play, the more we can kind of settle in to what he is. I think at his best, he's kind of at that Case Keenum standpoint where you can build some things around him and maybe have success in the short term, but you probably always want a little more. And I think this game in particular highlighted it because on the other end, you had a young, dynamic franchise quarterback who was taken very early in the draft. And you see what those guys can bring if you select the right one. Big, athletic, high IQ, makes plays. And when the game was messy and they needed plays, he could do that. I think with Gardner Minshew, you just don't have those same abilities. And so it just makes it very, very difficult when you have some limitations at quarterback.
Well, Bucky, if let's say the season goes along the way it's going, right? They're 1-6 now. Let's say they're 2-10, something like that, right? And the coaching staff draws the same conclusion that you're drawing, that maybe his ceiling is that of a Case Keenum type quarterback. Would you say you want to get a look at least what you have in Jake Luton? I'm not saying you're going to turn the franchise over to him, but if you're going to go reset your quarterback depth chart next year, potentially in the draft, I think it would behoove you to know what you have in Luton. Do you feel like Luton could be a serviceable backup in this league? Could you get something better than a 6th-round pick that you gave up to him for him in trade? Or maybe would you feel comfortable enough trading Gardner Minshew to a team that loses a quarterback if you rechart your course at quarterback with a high pick next year with Luton potentially as a backup?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some validity to that. I think you certainly can kick the tires on Jake Luton and see what you have. I think a lot of it depends on how the Jags are playing at that point, meaning how long does the losing streak extend? What is the feeling and the pressure on ownership when it comes to making decisions on the front office and the coaches? I think a lot of that will determine whether you hand the ball to the young guy. But yeah, I think it's certainly something that you consider. We saw the Carolina Panthers do that a season ago when they moved on from Kyle Allen to hand the ball to Will Greer, and then ultimately made a decision in the offseason to go and get Teddy Bridgewater with a new regime. I think, yeah, you want to see him play. You want to see Jake Luton play in games just to kind of see where he is so you can assess potentially another quarterback that you have on your roster with Gardner Minshew.
That's a perfect example with Will Greer last year, by the way. All right, 355 NFL 1 the number. You know who's batting leadoff, Bucky. Sakib is up first on the Scoreboard Show. Sakib, you're on with us here with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're all right.
Look, it is what it is. This team is probably going to lose the rest of the 9 games, and maybe Jets win 1 or 2 games. I was hoping they won today. The Jets won today. I was hoping, but that didn't come to the, for me. But this defense, we know what they are, and the season is over. It's done with, and I'm just hoping Shad Khan and Tony Khan do the right thing and start all over again, because I'm just tired, dude. I'm done, and I just hope that Shad Khan does the right thing and fires everybody. The only thing I can hope for Christmas is everybody gets fired. Thank you, guys.
Wow, that's not really.
Wow. Man, bah humbug over there.
Right, Grinch. Okay.
Jeez. Can we at least wait till after Christmas?
Right.
Think about some of those things.
Not even to Thanksgiving yet. I mean,
I don't think he's alone, though. I mean, I think that there's a large portion of the fan base that, we do a Keys to Victory thing every Friday on our Jaguars Today show, Bucky, and we ask people, and most of the reaction that we got this week was, I don't want to win any more games. We're like, the season's going nowhere, and there are not enough things they could do to make me want to see them win against the Chargers, because ultimately I don't think they can sustain that over the course of the season. I think a lot of the fan base has turned their focus on next year's draft class. I mean, it's a terrible place to be in as a fan base, right? To feel like your season is over 7 games into it, but I think that's where a lot of folks, I mean, and look, realistically, they've lost 6 in a row and they've given up 30 in all of them. I think objectively, the odds of making the playoffs are practically nil. So from that standpoint, the season, you still got to play these games out. You still want to develop your young players and all those things and try to instill some winning attitudes in them, and all that's great. But I think from Jaguar fans, I think Sakib represents a large percentage of them right now.
Yeah, no, it's a shame that there's a bit of apathy towards the squad just after so many years of losing and having like that teaser year in 2017 when you get to the AFC Championship game. And then when you look at the roster and you're trying to figure out, do you have enough weapons to really win enough games this year to make it meaningful, meaning that it's something that could be viewed as a launch point for something greater in 2021 and beyond. And I just don't know. And I think when you're Shad Khan and Tony Khan and everyone that's kind of looking at the operation, what you want to see is how are we trending? Are we trending the right way with the young guys? Are our young players playing well? Do we feel like we have a young nucleus that if we add a few pieces, we can build upon and put ourselves back in a situation that we saw ourselves in a few years ago? And I think those are questions that ownership would have to ask to the front office and also to Coach Marrone, how they feel about it, but then also take that and look at what are the results when they really watch it with their own eyeballs. And if they feel like it's not trending in the right direction, it certainly has to be a consideration to move on.
Final score, 39-29. Chargers over the Jags. Plenty more ahead. Phone lines are open, 355-NFL1, 355-6351. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Proven IT implements a strategic game plan designed to streamline your business for maximum results. Make the winning choice with the official business systems partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Proven IT. Proven IT's technology experts use a customized approach to understand how to design, implement, and monitor solutions that optimize your business. Proven IT provides managed network services, document management solutions, office technology, voice and data solutions, and more. Visit ProvenIT.com to see how they can streamline your business. Proven IT, transforming workplace productivity.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Brooks Rehabilitation outpatient locations throughout Florida are currently open and accepting in-person and telehealth appointments. They're following CDC guidelines to include screenings, temperature checks, face masks, social distancing, and additional sanitizing of all surfaces. They're taking extra precautions to ensure your safety so you can focus on your recovery. Please call their central intake unit at 904-345-7277, option 3, to schedule your visit. Brooks Rehabilitation is the official rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has the large format printing services running in high gear, creating large banners for marketing events, full vehicle wraps. Learn how Kessler changes the game with print and direct mail innovation. From eye-catching restaurant menus to real estate yard signs and event displays, Kessler does it all. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports-watching drink of all time, Pepsi. With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet, but thanks to Pepsi, even Mike can't ruin my football party.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Jaguars Game Day presented by ViStar Credit Union. If you believe no car payment for 90 days is better, join ViStar, a standard feature on new or used car loans. ViStar never forgets that it's your money. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks. The Scoreboard Show rolls along. Your phone calls, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. We have plenty of topics to get to tonight.
Oh, we do. But in the meantime, if you want to direct the conversation, that's the way to do it, 355-6351. Matt in Orlando is next up. Matt, you're on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead. Hello,
Matt.
Matt's put his phone down and has walked around and closing.
I'm here.
Hey,
oh,
there he is.
Hello, Matt.
Hey, man.
All right. Yeah, I just didn't want that sound to come back on you guys. Thank you guys for having me on. I kind of have a hypothetical. I know you guys usually don't like to do hypotheticals just this early in the season, but we can all see the ship sinking, and we have some bright spots. James Robinson looks great. I thought that was a great move by the staff to actually let Fournette go and run with James Robinson. But here goes my hypothetical. So say we get rid of Doug Marrone. What do you guys think? How do you think, say the rumors are true about Dabo, and all of a sudden we get Dabo, or maybe we get somebody else, another head coach or offense coordinator that gets fired. What do you think about Dabo in the NFL? Do you think he'd be able to make that transition? And I'll take your answer off the air. Thanks, guys. Go Jaguars. Duval.
Bucky, I'll let you take this one.
So here's the thing. I think Dabo is a great culture builder, and what he's built at Clemson is outstanding. The differences are he's not really been exposed to the NFL in any way, shape, or form. And so I think most college coaches struggle when they come to the NFL without having at least a taste of the NFL experience. What Matt Rule is doing is different because he was at the Giants. He understood it a little bit before he came over. Also, I think Dabo's making $8-9 million at Clemson.
That was going to be
Man,
my
it's going
point.
to take a hell of an offer to get him to leave the security of being at a place where he has won 2 national titles. He's always going to be in contention for a title. He probably has a 10-year deal where he can determine when he's going to walk away to come to the league. Unless he is looking for a challenge to just do it at the highest level, I can't understand why he would ever leave that comfortable situation to join the National Football League.
And oh, by the way, the rumor, for what it's worth, I
Oh,
don't think.
boy,
I don't
now
think
we're
it's,
going rumors,
Well,
too.
no, that's
I
what
like
he brought up. I mean, he said, "What if the rumor is true about
Hypotheticals and rumors.
Dabo?" Right? That the rumor was speculation that if ever Dabo was going to be lured away from Clemson, it may be as a package deal with Trevor Lawrence. So I don't know. Talk to the Jets because they're in the driver's seat as far as Trevor Lawrence goes. I mean, I don't think Dabo's coming to Jacksonville, Florida, without his guy Trevor Lawrence in tow if he's leaving Clemson at all. So those pink suits aren't cheap, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not going down this path until there's change. I'll be honest with you. So I get the speculation,
You allowed the
and
question, so.
hypotheticals, and that's fine. Hey, it's a fair question. That's fine. But
yeah.
But I'm kind of with Bucky. Like $8 million, a lot of money. You
Yeah,
know?
I think that if we're going to have speculation about a college coach making the jump, I think the college coach to keep an eye on would be Brian Kelly from Notre Dame. And the reason why I would keep an eye on Brian Kelly is because he sniffed around the National Football League a few times. I know he had an interview maybe with the Philadelphia Eagles a few years ago. Maybe his time at Notre Dame has kind of run its course. And if a situation opened up where he could be like the football czar, like we saw Coach Coughlin have the opportunity to be, maybe that would be the guy. But outside of that, I can't see Lincoln Riley making that jump. And I don't believe that Dabo is at a spot in his career where he's ready to be able to jump up to the National Football League and say, oh, let me see if I can do it at this level.
All right, thank you, Bucky, on that. Let's go to John and Callahan next up here on the Scoreboard Show. John, you're on with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Bucky? I just have one thing to say. Mr. Khan has been supposedly a wonderful owner, but he's been wonderful over in England with his football team. He's been wonderful up in Indiana with his automotive plant. But down here in Jacksonville, now he wants to do Lot J. But what has he given us? How many years have we put up with a subpar football team? Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone, he's not willing to fire them. Well, guess what? Mr. Weaver said the reason why he was selling his football team was because he could not bear to fire anybody. Well, guess what? Now we need to have something on the city council to have them say, okay, hold Lot J until we can get something with a stimulus of some football team in this city. And that's what I got to say, gentlemen, and have a nice day, because now I've got to go every weekend because my wife knows the Jaguars are going to lose. I got to go to, some antique shop or something. Have a nice day.
Buy something good while you're there. Yeah.
First
of all, hold on, let me start. It's not like Fulham Football Club's been a great success since they've owned it. They've been kicked out of the league and now have been promoted again. Second, Flexingate is in Illinois. It's not in Indiana. And
they all start with I. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Idaho,
they're next
whatever.
door to each other. I guess.
Iowa.
Those are my two main points.
Well, my first thought was, what has he given the Jaguars? He's given them the ability to spend more money in free agency than any team since he's since he's hired Dave Caldwell. They've spent more money, more actual dollars in free agency than anyone in the NFL. He gives them look. Has he trusted this front office past its expiration date? Perhaps so. You could argue that all you like. But in terms of giving them resources, it's not like he's saying, guys, we're not going to win, so let's not spend much money. Every year they sign high-priced free agents. So
they had to clean up at the start of this league year because they were over the cap.
In terms of wanting to win and trying to be competitive, he is trying to give them the resources. The main thing you can do as an owner is allow your team to be as aggressive as possible, to go out there and chase these big fat contracts. And have they failed to sign some of their own guys, Bucky? Absolutely. And you could talk about, again, has he been too patient? Certainly. But this idea that Shad Khan has done nothing for this franchise, I think, is ludicrous.
No, and I'm gonna say this, and we don't know what happened with the job or whatever, but I think Jacksonville is a very attractive franchise and organization just because of some of the reasons that you mentioned when it comes to Shad Khan. As a team builder, what you would like is to have the resources to be able to go and get the marquee players that you need to get to field a championship team, but you also want an owner who is going to trust the football people to do the football stuff and to get out the way. And based on what I've seen and based on the longevity of those who have been in Jacksonville, I think he has given people every opportunity to put together a plan, to execute the plan, and see the plan to the end of it. And so I think it is a very attractive situation. And I don't know, look, I certainly understand the frustration that fans have, but in terms of putting together a product and being able to be supported, to be able to put it together in your vision, I think everything right there is available in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and let me just say, look, I get the frustration. If you think he stuck with Gus Bradley too long, right? He stuck with Dave Caldwell too long, or Doug Marrone, or what? All these are valid criticisms or points of debate, whatever. I'm not suggesting that he couldn't have done things better, but the way that it was so dismissive, like, what is, he's just bought the team and then whatever. He's just, just ran off. And, I mean, he's given them the resources. Have they used the resources wisely enough? Obviously not. Look at the record. The proof is in the one-loss record. So, I get frustration with him, but I think to a certain point, I guess I understand it. I don't, I'm not of the belief that Shad Khan has done nothing beneficial for this organization.
That's right. Let's come back. More of your calls, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio. Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, the CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing staffing firms in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI knows how important it is to find the right people for your team. See why some of Jacksonville's top companies choose CSI for their staffing needs. Visit thecsicompanies.com or call 800-582-0828 today. That's 800-582-0828 for the CSI Companies.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
At Jacksonville International Airport, the health and safety of travelers is their #1 priority. They're doing everything they can to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, from adhering to CDC cleaning guidelines, requiring facial coverings in the terminal, and encouraging social distancing at every point of the airport experience. For a comprehensive look at what the airport, airlines, and their shops, restaurants, and rental cars are doing to keep passengers safe, please visit jacksairportcares.com to learn more. Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm trees swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now. You're on Tropic time now. And right now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, try our watermelon mojito and guava margarita smoothies. And you're tasting fruity now, sipping sunshine now, toasting summer now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back. Scoreboard Show. 39-29. Chargers over the Jags. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks with your phone calls. 355-NFL1, 355-6351. A lively group tonight.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. And
a little later than normal.
Let's continue the conversation, shall we? Bucky, we'll welcome in Pierre all the way out in your neck of the woods out in California. Pierre, you're on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Pierre, you're on the air.
Hello?
You're on the air. Hello.
You're on the radio.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great. What's up?
Oh, good.
I just got a question for my guy Bucky.
Go for it.
All right, go ahead.
Can we please just start talking about the draft? Because I'm hurting over here, man. I'm hurting. We've been hurting since '95. I'm talking about Tony Baselli, Fred Taylor, Fernando Bryant. We hurting, Bucky. We can't take it no more. We tired of losing. We want to win. I'm starting to feel like my guy Sakib. We just hurting over here. We hurting. That's it. I'm frustrated.
It's spreading.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Look, it's a frustrating process. But, I mean, I think everyone is going to start looking towards the draft to figure out how you can fill the biggest holes in the roster. Where do you slot those guys? How do you take I would say like a handful of picks that Dave Caldwell and those guys have assembled, and how do you plug and play with guys that can come right in and make an immediate impact? Because what everyone wants to see is a quick turnaround. And unfortunately, it typically doesn't happen like that when you try and do it with the homegrown process. So it will be orchestrated and directed by the young players that you bring in through the draft, but some free agents, some older guys, the right kind of guys are going to also have to come in and turn this thing around. And so it can be done, but I mean, there's no magic pill. You just got to figure out how to play better. And some of that will take place with this crew that is currently in place. They got to take care of business on the practice field and then start putting together things in games so you can start feeling good about the team and the direction of the program.
All right, Pierre, thank you for the call. Let's head up to Atlanta. Terrence is on the line. Terrence, you're on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, fellas. I was just calling for two things. I know everybody's saying, like, tank for Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence has nothing to do with this defense that we've been putting on the field. We're giving up at least 30 points a game in the last 6 games. And also, we talking about fire Doug Marrone. If we're going to fire Doug Marrone, what y'all think about Lovie Smith coming out of Illinois? I mean, he went 10-6 in Chicago his last couple years. They fired him. Then he only had 2 years to get Tampa Bay corrected, and they got rid of him there. I still think Lovie Smith is a good coach, and I'll take it off the air.
Thanks for the call. I'm with you on the defensive part, right, Bucky? I mean, that's
yeah.
You can't go about business week to week like that.
No, you can't go about business week to week with your defense giving up 30 points. It's just really hard to win in this league playing that. When you look at the top teams in the league, they're able to generate stops. As much as everyone is talking about the Buccaneers and Tom Brady, their defense is really what's spearheading that unit. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, their defense is leading the way. The Kansas City Chiefs have a fantastic offense, but defensively they can get enough stops and takeaways to kind of put the game on their terms. And so whatever we look at this team and look at the first place for improvement, it absolutely has to start with the defense, and it has to start with building a defense that has the necessary components to compete in this game, meaning you have to have at a minimum 2 pass rushers, preferably an inside pass rusher and an outside pass rusher. You need to have someone on the second level who can run and chase and make plays, I think that person is in place in Miles Jack. And then in the secondary, you need to have an A-level cornerback and then one other member of the secondary that's an A-level player, be it a safety, another corner. And so championship teams typically have 10 to 12 blue chip players. If we go back and look at the 2017 version of the Jaguars, there are about 10 to 12 blue chip players there. And so it's been done. You just have to figure out a way to find and follow the model and make sure that you put enough blue chip players on both sides of the ball to make sure it happens.
Did you want to weigh in on Lovie Smith at all, Bucky?
Well, so here's the thing about Lovie Smith. Like, typically, we talk about the fan base and trying to create a level of excitement while also getting the right guy. I don't know if Lovie Smith is going to make everyone go crazy in Jacksonville about the prospect of him building a winner. Now, he did build a winner in Chicago. He set the groundwork for what took place in Tampa, but I don't know if he's going to get a third bite of the apple in Jacksonville. I think if something happens in Jacksonville and you're looking for a defensive coach, I think Todd Bowles will be someone in consideration just because of the experiences and what he's done with Tampa. I also think Eric Bieniemy, and there are going to be some people that get really excited about Joe Brady in Carolina just because of young, dynamic, offensive mind. You look at what the Carolina Panthers have done quickly with Teddy Bridgewater. I think those are going to be some of the names that are going to be in play when we talk about head coaching candidates.
Well, yeah, that's a conversation for hopefully a little later down the line. Let's come back in a moment, though. One more segment to go in the Scoreboard Show. Your calls. We'll wrap it up after this. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Brooks Rehabilitation outpatient locations throughout Florida are currently open and accepting in-person and telehealth appointments. They're following CDC guidelines to include screenings, temperature checks, face masks, social distancing, and additional sanitizing of all surfaces. They're taking extra precautions to ensure your safety so you can focus on your recovery. Please call their central intake unit at 904-345-7277, option 3 to schedule your visit. Brooks Rehabilitation is the official rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Slot right, blue 42, hot, hot. A great quarterback is a true leader with a work ethic that never wavers and a desire to win that is second to none. We know a truck like that. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling truck 43 years straight. With impressive towing and payload, Ford F-150 makes tough jobs look easy. Visit your local Ford dealer for great offers on F-150, official truck of the NFL. Based on 1977 to 2019 calendar year total sales.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports watching drink of all time, Pepsi. With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet, but thanks to Pepsi, even Mike can't ruin my football party.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
Floridians know what it means to stand together. That's why Florida Blue is committed to the people of Florida by providing health care with lower costs and higher quality. Enroll within 60 days of life-changing events, such as losing your job, to get benefits like plans as low as $0 a month and up to $500 per year towards your premiums in wellness rewards. Call 1-800-750-0164 or visit floridablue.com/care today. Florida Blue is a trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Incorporated. These health benefit plans have limitations and exclusions.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. If you don't get in here, the fifth quarter is coming up next to take more of your calls. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks. The Jaguars fall 39-29, the final today at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Wide receiver DJ Chark was targeted 7 times today. He had 1 catch for 26 yards in this game. Mike, you sense a little frustration coming through the screen.
I sense a lot, Bucky. On the last 2 offensive plays for the Jaguars, right? They had 3rd and 8 and then 4th and 8. And they had the one, you don't know if it was going to be a back shoulder or what it was, but Minshew threw the ball too far out of bounds for Chark to have any kind of chance at it. You could see he was visibly frustrated on that play. Like, I was reading his body language as he was saying, just give me a chance. I can't catch this and come down with my feet and bounce. It's impossible. And then on the 4th down, Minshew had a clean pocket, was nowhere close to Chark as well. And then they show the cutaway, and we watched the game broadcast. We listened on the radio, so maybe you heard something on the game broadcast that we didn't on TV. But they showed Chark on the bench, and it looked like he was pretty frustrated, with what was going on. And this is on the heels of last week. He was asked if Detroit did anything to take away the wide receivers, and his answer was, no, we were open. So the question is there a frustration level building between some of the wide receivers and Gardner Minshew that Minshew's struggles are not giving them chances to help this team, prosper?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe there is something to that, because when you look at the way the body language was the first couple games and how it is now, there is definitely a sense of frustration that they're not connecting with the quarterback for whatever reason. And sometimes that is magnified when you're a DJ Chark and you view yourself as a number one, and you probably view yourself as an elite receiver, and you're looking over at Keenan Allen getting 10 receptions or 11 receptions for over 100 yards, and you're looking at that quarterback on the other side of the field throw dime after dime after dime. There is a little envy, and there's a little frustration, like, man, why can't I get a chance to showcase my talents? And so you're seeing that play out, not only from him, but from the other guys. And so it's one of those things where you not only have to talk about it in meetings, wide receivers and quarterbacks, but also on the practice field. You have to do everything that you can to get on the same page. But when you've lost 6 in a row, there's going to be some of that frustration anyway. The best thing to solve all of it, they need to get a win. Have to get a win, have to get in the winner's column very, very soon.
Yeah, one other quick thing I wanted to point out. We got one more caller we're going to get to on the line here. But one of our previous callers, Terrence, brought up the point. He goes, why do we focus just on the Trevor Lawrence of the world? We've got all these issues on defense. Well, there were 7 teams that came into the weekend giving up 400 or more yards per game, including Jacksonville. Okay, 2 of those teams were undefeated, Seattle and Tennessee. Why? Because their quarterbacks are playing at an MVP level, and I include Ryan Tannehill in that when I say playing at an MVP level this year. So as bad as the Seahawks are giving up, coming into this week, 471 yards a game. It is by far the worst total in the league. But they're undefeated because Russell Wilson is carrying the team on his back like an MVP. You can't get that bang for your buck on defense, Bucky. You can't get Khalil Mack or Josh Allen or Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa, or none of them can carry a team the way a MVP-level quarterback can. It's not even close. That's why we center so much of the discussion on guys like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important, Mike, because this is what is happening. I'm sure as we get down the line with these shows, we'll begin to talk about the college prospects and the guys that are being in the draft. And a lot of the conversation right now has centered on Trevor Lawrence. But please make no mistake, there are 2 other quarterbacks in this draft, potentially, that can absolutely change the game and change the fortunes of a franchise, in Justin Fields and Trey Lance. And so Jacksonville has bypassed on a number of top quarterbacks in recent years. And at some point, when you get the quarterback right, everything else falls into place. And so it's the most important position for a reason. The quarterback is really the one player in your franchise that gives you hope. And so you're right. When you have an A-level quarterback, he is the Febreze in the room. He makes everything smell okay because he can make it all disappear. And at some point in Jacksonville, you want to have that kind of quarterback because it makes it so much easier for everyone involved. Front office, coaches, players. At some point, you got to find a 5-star quarterback.
Yeah, and then when you pair that quarterback with a competent defense, that's when you contend for championships.
That's right.
So
you were making your point, and during that point, Russell Wilson threw an interception. It was returned 90 yards. 90 yards.
Buda Baker got him.
Right, Buda Baker got him. DK Metcalf walked him down, though, and it's now 3rd and goal for the Cardinals.
See, that's the value of having a 290,000-pound wide receiver who runs a 4-1 flat who can run you down after Russ throws an occasional pick.
That's right.
There you go. All right, we got Jesse in Pensacola going to be the last word here on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Jesse, go ahead, please.
Hello, Jesse. Pensacola. Come in.
Los Angeles. Hello. Nope.
Nope, that's it.
All right.
That'll do it.
Nothing from Jesse.
Nothing from Jesse.
I don't know.
I think that's a way to call it a night. All right, bye week, Bucky. Get some rest. Ice up. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we're going to win the bye week, though. So let's go 1-0 this week. We're going to win the bye week. We're going to have a great week of practice, and we're going to be ready to go when we get back on the field.
Fantastic.
Sounds like a plan. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Thanks, Buck.
Sure.
Bucky Brooks joining us from Los Angeles. Mike Dempsey, our entire crew. I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening and for watching. If you didn't get in here, the 5th quarter is coming up. Final score, Chargers 39, Jaguars 29. And this has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.